I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No, not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you're listening to Girls Gone WoW 689, recorded on Sunday, June the 7th, 2026. I'm your host DJ, and with me I have my lovely co-host Raven. You look chilly. You've put your fleecy thing back on.
Yeah, it's a bit cooler. It's a bit cooler today. It's only 16, 15 degrees in Buckinghamshire today, and it's been a bit overcast and cloudy and a bit drizzly. And I'm a bit cold, and I'm very tired, and I often get cold when I'm tired. So, yeah.
Yes, my little monitor at the bottom of my screen is saying rain coming in about an hour.
Oh,
thanks.
okay. That's exciting. Yeah, we are due 2 patches of rain this week, I think. We've had a lot of rain in the last week. We had a lot of rain yesterday. Lots of rain yesterday. But yeah, there's a bit more rain due, and then it's going to get hot again. So, yeah.
Oh, great.
Can't win. I don't know where the nice 20-degree summer days went. Those are my favourite. I'd like them back, if at all possible.
Even I can, that's the sort of top end of my coping, but even I'm like, yeah, okay, this is fine. Like, I might have my little fan with me occasionally, but I'm like, no, I can cope. This is fine. The other day, so I went to the chemist the other day. The chemist is literally at the end of my road and just over. So that's like, it's 10 minutes there and back, including the interaction time I had with the pharmacist.
Okay.
And in that time, as I left the house, it absolutely started chucking it down.
Yep.
And then as I was coming back, the sun came out, and by the time I got home, I was not only dry, I was sweating. It was so hot in the space of 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What is going on?
Yeah, it is completely ridiculous.
So there we go.
Yeah.
We are in peak talking about the weather time. I mean, I know that we talk about the weather a lot, but we're in peak, like at the moment it's being particularly random.
Yes.
So, interesting news of the week this week. Most of the interesting news is about the upcoming stuff in the patch, which is obviously what we're talking about in the topic. So the only thing I'm going to remind you about this week in interesting news is the Darkmoon Fair has arrived as of today. It is back for a week, so please go and get your professions points. In case you haven't been to the Darkmoon Fair in a while, the great thing about getting the profession points that way is not only does it give you points for this expansion, it also gives you points for the previous two, so knowledge points for the previous two expansions as well.
Yeah.
And if you're completely up to date with skill level, it'll go back if you've got some old expansions that you haven't completed the skill on, it'll skill those up. So there's one of my characters, every time I go, it gives me like points in like Legion mining.
Oh, that's nice.
Because that, for some reason, that character didn't finish mining in Legion, so it's like, you've gained 2 points, and I'm like, thanks.
Cool. Yeah.
Like a little like surprise bonus every time I go. So yeah, go and get those.
Very good. Very good.
So, topic for the week. Oh my goodness. So last week we were like, we don't know what's going to happen. So Blizzard told us that 12.0.7 is going to drop on June the 16th, 17th, depending on where you are.
Yes.
What's in store? And we wanted to know what you were excited for. We will steer clear, at least from Raven and I, talking about is this too soon? Because I feel like we've done that bit to death. So
yes, it is too soon. It is still too soon. Yes.
We decided that. We're all on that page. But here is what is coming. So 2 new locations are arriving for us to continue our confrontation with the leaders of the Void. After talking to Riftblade Mailer in Silvermoon City, we're starting a new quest line. We travel through a portal in the Howling Reach being in Voidstorm, and it's going to send us to one of two places, either the icy worlds of Val or the mana-rich bogs of Nagital? I'm not quite sure how they're going to pronounce that.
No,
Some
don't know.
variation.
Yeah.
I mean, Nagital, if you were sort of pronouncing it. Yeah, let's go with Nagital. Why not? And where we go rotates on a weekly basis.
Okay.
So you can't get bored because they're not always up or something.
Right.
When you first select the portal, you'll be asked to choose if you want to adventure on normal or heroic difficulty, with increased rewards on heroic. Completing quests reward a Rift Stalker cache, which contains field accolades, coffer key shards, mats for upgrading grading gear, gold, and more. You'll also unlock a great vault rewards in the world content row. Each area has a world boss that'll drop a champion item for your warband in normal, or a heroic item in the heroic version.
Okay.
There's also going to be world quests and events, rares, overseers, and elites to defeat. You will also earn a toy that allows you to recall to the current active base camp every 15 minutes. So like a zone-wide hearthstone, effectively, that works every 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of new areas to do some more questing in.
Yeah, so a big icy place and a big sort of mushroomy place.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, then additionally, everyone's favourite knot couple, Romath and Umbric, together with custodian Veldaren, have been hard at work at the Lycanium on the Isle of Keldamas, repairing the awakened Sunstrider Omnium. Omnomnomnomnium, yes. Which is, guess what, a relic that you need to power up by completing quests each week and unlock powers within it, and then you've got a relic that's got loads of passives. Yawn. Sorry. Yeah, you need to... So Dathramar Sunstrider has created this thing. You need to complete a Seeking Knowledge quest each week, which allows you to unlock the power within the Omnomnomnium by gaining Motes of Omnomnomnial Inquiry, which unlock runes that then give you passive abilities that will be available for the rest of the expansion. Is this... yeah, there we go. We knew there would be some borrowed power somewhere. Here it is. Powers available provide damage, healing, shield, speed, or stat boosts. When you complete all of the quests, you will receive a housing decor item, so you can put it in your living room if you'd like. It is quite pretty. It is quite pretty. At least, I guess if we have to do the kind of borrowed power thing, at least it's pretty now, and we can put it in our houses. But it's a borrowed power thing for the second part of the expansion. Who'd have thought it? Yawn.
I mean, at least... we'll come back. We'll do the TLDR and then we'll come back. Absolutely, because otherwise I'm going to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
There's a new raid, the Spallful raid. It's got one boss in it, Rotsmire. It's going to be available on all the usual difficulties, and for the first time, we will see the availability of Mythic Flex for groups between 15 to 25 players. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's super interesting that they've decided to give this a go. Obviously, they're just dipping their toe in this water at the moment. But I guess the numbers of people doing Mythic raiding has fallen again, and they need to work out how to make it go up again. So there we go.
Well, I'm doing it on a one boss raid.
Yeah, this is
a really
exactly. This is a
does this work?
Does this work? Which, given that they've spent the last 10 years telling us it absolutely doesn't work, is kind of fascinating. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. New story chapter starts on the 7th of July when the Haranir call for a special meeting, and we get to see Zul'jin attend as the rep for the Armani. And then he gets drawn into an ancient mystery surrounding the Armani's legacy and the search for truth. But more questing is coming. 7th of July. That's a little bit of a wait.
It's Zul'jan, not Zul'jin.
Zul'jan, sorry. Yes. That's the funny dude, the emo boy.
That's the brother. The
emo boy, yeah? Emo boy.
Emo brother.
Emo boy troll.
Yeah, emo bridge
Emo Bridge Troll Boy. Yeah, sorry. Zoljan. They need to not have everybody with all these similar names. It's too annoying. But 7th of July is a little bit of a wait for this questing. Anyway, maybe we'll come back to this.
Yeah, we'll come back. Okay. Learn about the law of the lower with assistant law walker Lily. Lily's grown up and she's now an assistant law walker.
What a sentence that was. Learn about the law of the lower with assistant law walker Lily. Fucking hell.
Say that after you've had a drink.
Good grief. Okay.
We're going to delve deep into the history of the Zandalari, Drakari, Gurabashi, and the Darkspear Trolls. Staying with the lower, past traditions have returned with Janalai, the Lower of Fire, who we've already met in Zulaman. She's ready to bring a new clutch of eggs into the world, and we're going to be part of the welcoming and protecting her young as they take their first steps in the company of Lower Speaker Breck, who will perform the necessary ceremony for the event. That's all any information told me about that, so I don't know any more than that. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah, lower daycare. Exactly.
Yeah.
If that's not enough, the Turbulent Timeways return on the 30th of June for 6 weeks, and then 6 weeks Dragonflight dungeons have been added to the rotation. Run any time walking dungeon during the event to gain the Knowledge of the Timeways buff, which gives you 5% experience increase when killing mobs and completing quests. Buff's duration and power increases in stacks, and after 4 stacks transforms into the Mastery of the Timeways buff, increasing experience gained to 30%, persisting through death, and you will earn the Spawn of Veranoth mount if you have the Mastery buff for 4 weeks during the event. Time walking also gives you a 50% bonus to reps earned during quests and mobs killed for all reps relating to the corresponding expansion. Buff is not account wide, so if you want these bonuses on a certain character, you'll need to do time walking on that one. Weekly time walking quest will offer a heroic 259 to 276 eye level item. Vendors will have new and old rewards, including mounts, transmogs, dragon riding customizations, more transmogs, and toys. And there will be a vendor available in Valdraken because the Dragonflight dungeons have been added into the pool. So more Turbulent Timeways, as is traditional.
Yes, they had to clarify about the fact that it's not account wide because the original posting gave that impression. So
right.
Definitely, if you want this on a particular character, do the time walking on that character. There's going to be a new event, the Darkspear Dash Micro Holiday on June the 27th. Join the Darkspear and Zandalari as they race from the Echo Isles to Silver Moon City for an event inspired by the Running of the Trolls Community Pride event. Run, leap, speed, and spread rainbow cheer along the route. Their words, not mine.
Okay. All right.
I know. I read that line and I'm like, I have to share that line because that tickled me.
Okay. Well, it's good that Blizzard have acknowledged the Running of the Trolls and done something weird with it. Great. Ritual sites and void incursions. Hooray! There'll be more ritual sites and void incursions. Boo. Ritual sites have a new tier 6 difficulty, which requires 6 challenges for more rewards, new world quests when specific challenges are selected, and an additional bonus roll available when these quests during weeks 3 and 6. There will be 2 new achievements. Because if there's one thing there's not enough of, it's achievements for ritual sites and void incursions. There will be 2 new achievements for completing the new challenges and the new tier. Void incursions and strikes will reward more XP, more world quests, increased drop rates for dark particles, a change to receive bulging satchels. Blimey. Do I want a bulging satchel?
Depends what it's bulging with.
Yeah, I don't know. And vendors will have more cosmetic items for sale. You'll be able to purchase slot-specific BOP heroic caches for 750 field accolades and slot-specific Warbound champion caches for 100 field accolades.
Yes, you can see I got bored with writing the words field accolades.
I know. I was just feeling quite pleased that I could actually work out what you meant. Yeah.
Look at you. Finally, quality of life updates. So there's going to be changes to how gear loses durability. Items will no longer take durability damage for simple events such as attacking, blocking, etc. So everyone's going to see a decrease in their repair costs, although people using fast weapons and shield users will see the greatest change.
Has
Obviously,
there
because that's how those weapons work.
has there been a problem with? I saw this and I was like, that seems
No,
quite
repair
random.
costs. No, repair costs have jumped extraordinarily. Like
Oh, have they?
literally,
I
yeah,
hadn't
no, even
noticed.
on my clothies, like I'll go and I'll encounter one pack and I've suddenly got a 3 gold repair bill and I'm like, how have I got a 3 gold repair bill already? I literally like attacked one mob. What are you
Oh,
talking about?
okay.
Everyone's been talking about it, and
Oh,
especially people with shields and swords and things like that. They've been really noticing it.
okay.
And so yeah, they're like, yeah, no, fair enough, we're changing that.
Fair enough. I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Normal world quests and rares are now going to drop champion crests instead of veteran. Heroic world quests and rares will have increased XP rewards for characters under 90. Vendor rewards that require an achievement have had their costs reduced, so mounts, pets, and weapons. And possibly the most important quality of life change, Dun Dun will now allow you to use 1, 2, 4, or 8 shards of Dun Dun simultaneously, so you can earn more unalloyed abundance in fewer runs, speeding up the process of the event. Finally, there's going to be some additional updates to raid flames, damage meters, and more UI elements.
Okay.
And there you go. That's what's coming.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's not the
Like, obviously, I've sat with
most.
this information for the day. What do
Yeah.
you feel about it?
I mean, so a couple of new zones to go and do some quest, but it's not like the new zones are not got questing in them, like story questing in them. They've just got like world quests and stuff in them.
Yes. Yeah.
So cool. I mean, cool. I guess if you want somewhere else to go and do some world quests, cool. I don't. I don't need an omnomnomnium. I didn't need.
When you're omnomnomian.
I don't need an omnomnomnium. I didn't need a circlet. I didn't need a like. I don't. I don't need another borrowed power thing that I have to unlock. I mean, we'll do it because that's the game. But like, I just don't really
Yeah.
need it. At least it looks nice. It's got it's got like, it's quite pointy and it's got like spheres. It's got orbs. It's got balls. It's lots
I
of
mean,
balls.
I like the fact. I mean, I have to say, I don't mind. I don't mind the principle of these things, and I think this is probably the best iteration because it's not taking up an armor slot.
No,
And that,
at
I
least
think,
it's a
has been the
separate thing.
irritating thing about previous things because obviously
Yeah.
we had
There was the
we had the
waist.
cloak.
Yeah, we've had a cloak and we've had a like waist thing recently,
belt, didn't
and
we?
we've had
Yeah,
that
and
like
the circlet
the circlet that wasn't a circlet because it went on your finger thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am less upset about this because it's not taking up a slot. And great, it's occasionally going to do some damage or maybe put a shield on me. Lovely. Like I like things that where it just does something passive, and once you've unlocked it, you just don't have to think about it. It's just a little bonus. So yeah, okay. Super.
Fine.
And obviously,
Fine.
I'm pleased that Romoth and Umbrica are finding reasons to work together.
Just kiss already, guys. Yeah.
If we don't get that in the cinematic, I'm going to be so upset.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Like a one boss raid. Quite happy to have a little one boss raid. Interesting. I do think this mythic flex thing is quite interesting. They have said for a long time that it's not possible to flex mythic raids. So mythic at the moment is 20 man. Is that right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, it's 20 at the moment.
Yeah, it's 20 at the moment, but you do have to take 20. And I do like there's been like a lot of mythic raiders and a lot of other people have said, look, it's really just like it's really difficult. Like we've introduced flex raiding across every other raid size. And it's really difficult when you get to that level. It's suddenly like, no, now you need 20 people. So if you've got 21, you need to bench someone, and if you've got 19, you can't really do it. So I think it's good to try and experiment with a bit of flexibility, and 15 to 25 sounds interesting. They frequently said they couldn't bring Mythic down to 10 because that wouldn't have enough. You just wouldn't have enough characters. You wouldn't have enough variety in the sort of spells and the composition and everything that you need. So be super interesting to see how that goes. And then see whether, I mean, it would add another fascinating facet to Mythic, to sort of world raiding, world first raiding, if another kind of angle was what's the optimum raid size for this new raid, as well as like, you know, everything else that those teams are tuning for. So the race to world first will be fascinating if they introduce this mechanic. I suspect what they might do is leave it locked to 20 for the race to world first, and then open it up maybe after the Hall of Fame is full, or maybe at some point further down the line. Don't know.
Yeah, I could see perhaps the teams who take part in the race to world first going, right, we're just going to stay at 20. Like, we're all going to have like a ladies and gentlemen's agreement that we
they won't know. They'll do whatever the optimum, and I suspect for different fights there would be different like there are some fights where you think more people would be fine, and then there are some fights where you were like, I bet if you lost 2 people it would be easier to split the groups up, or like balance who's going up and who's going down. Like, I bet they'd min-max it. If they were given the option, they'd min-max it 100%.
You're right.
100%.
I was just hoping for some sportsmanship.
No, that's very unlikely. But I mean, it would be an interesting aspect to the race to world first if they had to sit and work out not only how do we defeat this boss, what are the tic tacs, but actually like what's the optimum raid composition, and not what's the optimum raid composition in terms of which classes should we bring, but what's the optimum size we should bring. It would be fascinating, but it's a feature that could be min-maxed, same as any other.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. I mean, they might do this and it might all go terribly wrong, and everyone's like, no, we don't like it, actually. Sorry. Thanks for trying.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm pleased we're getting some more story.
Yeah.
From
the timing's weird though.
Yeah, it's sort of starting a little bit late, but maybe they've started the story a bit late with the view that, like, people have been saying, I haven't finished the previous stuff, so maybe the idea is that maybe this will give everyone a chance to finish the previous stuff before the story comes along.
Just drop the fucking patch later, Blizzard. Like, what are you doing? I just think this is really weird. The timing. I mean, you're not dropping the new questing for like 3 weeks after the patch is dropped. I can't, and there's nothing.
There is stuff to like. There are things to do though. You're going to have the questing for your own.
Yeah.
You're going to have at least one cycle of each of the new areas. So
yeah. I'm not. Yeah, you are, and you've. Yeah, that's fine. I just think it's super odd that you're then the like story questing isn't going to be for ages when that's the bit that lots of people enjoy. I don't know. Seems odd to me. But I'm not Blizzard, so what do I know?
What about learning about the lower with Lily?
Learning about the lower with Lily, that sounds like lots of fun. Yeah, I do. I mean, I've enjoyed these sort of law walking little, I don't know what to call them, like scenarios, I suppose. I've really enjoyed those little story elements, so I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. Love hearing about all of this stuff, and looking forward to diving into that. Obviously, I'm not going to do turbulent time ways because that's not my jam. Will you be turbulently time weighing?
I will do the time ways because I think it's going to be a good way for leveling alts, like everybody, all the other sort of content creator stuff that I've been consuming. Everyone's like, it's going to be great for leveling alts. So, and I've got, how many more characters have I got to level? Hold on. I've got 1, 2, maybe 5 or 6 that need leveling.
Okay.
So yes, that is how I'm planning to level them. Which is great. No, the mount's great. It's like a big frost dragon.
Nice.
I like it's like your own version, like your own mini Veranoth.
Nice.
So it's
Okay.
great. My frost mage will look magnificent riding around on that. So yes. There's the thing about time walking is I feel like I'm at the point where I'm quite far behind because I didn't do a lot of time walking for a long period of time, and they keep adding things to the time walking vendors. So I feel like I don't feel like there's a way to feel like I can catch up.
Right.
And I don't know if they need to do something about it because although there was a period when I do. Oh, done.
You're right.
Sorry, all of a sudden I had Audible in my ears, and I'm like, "Why is
Oh.
Audible in my ears?"
Oh.
Yeah, never mind. I've closed my Audible tab.
Okay.
A very nice man in my ear just went, "This is Audible." I'm like, "Is it?" I think
Yeah,
this girl's gone mad.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Just
So yeah, I
following
don't know
Manor,
if
listening to a podcast whilst he was tanking for us on Thursday.
yeah,
You started a whole thing
um,
now.
so yeah, I don't know if Blizzard have thought about this, and maybe there needs to be some sort of way of getting extra tokens because I think if anybody was like looking at time walking now, they'd look at the vendors and they'd be like, "Oh my goodness!" Like
Yeah.
the even if you were just looking at perhaps wanting to buy the mounts, still you would be like a little. I think you'd be overwhelmed by how many vendors there are. But no, I like a turbulent timeway. I think they're great. The groups you don't have to sit in the LFR queues for very long. Everybody the only thing about time walking is I just find that sometimes those groups are either really pleasant or just a bit unpleasant. You'll get somebody who insists on trying to skip a boss or take a silly route, and then half of you can't take that silly route, and then everybody starts yelling at each other, and you're like, the amount of time we've been having this argument, we could have just killed that one pack you were trying to
Yeah.
avoid. So maybe we should have just killed that one pack. And it sometimes devolves a little bit, which is a shame.
Yeah.
And other
That's
times you just get a
unfortunate.
delightful group and they get to the end and the tank spams like do another one and you're like, yeah, and then you do all 5 in the space of about like half an hour and you're like, that was brilliant, thank you very much. So yeah, it can be the best of times, but it can be the worst of times.
Magic here in the chat room suggests that as well as getting time warp badges for dungeons and raids, they should add in the ability to do old dailies or other kind of relevant content to the old expansion. That might go some way to solving your problem. If you could do
That's a great idea.
Yeah, if you could do the dailies and the weeklies, do the world quests depending on the expansion, that'd be an additional way of earning badges.
That is a great idea. I like that idea very much. Very much. Yes, we're both very happy that they're doing a little micro holiday. Will you go and check out the micro holiday? One day only.
I will try to. June 27th. What day of the week is that? I'm not very good at logging into Play WoW on specific days, so I'm not very good at micro holidays because I often just sort of don't remember. It must be like a Saturday. It must be a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Yes. It's
okay.
1, 2, 3 Saturdays time.
Okay.
Right. If I log in, I shall ping you and go, it's the you've got to run around with your rainbow thing in WoW, and you'll go, what? I'm with a horse. And I'll be like, well, not now.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a conversation about what Dino's doing.
Yeah, or about what flipping racehorse this morning, honestly. Tried to garrote himself with a piece of chain. I was like, please don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Please don't do that. He just I shut them all separate from each other, and because they were being toddlers, and he's decided that he didn't want to be shut where he was shut, and tried to get away. And I was like, please get your head out of this chain. This is not appropriate. Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. Honestly. Yeah.
So everything else that I talked about was sort of updates. So ritual sites. I mean, I enjoy ritual sites. So the fact that they're going to give me another tier's difficulty, that'll give me a little challenge. Quite enjoy
Sure.
that idea. Thank you
Sure.
very much. Also, with the idea of being able to opt into like a heroic version of the new questing, like in the new zones that's
Yeah,
coming.
that's interesting. That's interesting to
Yeah.
see how that works. It's certainly an interesting idea. So it's I mean, a 0.7 patch is a good time for them to do some testing of stuff like that. We'll see how it goes. Certainly an interesting
Yeah, and
concept.
it was great during the Legion remix. Really enjoyed that. It'll be interesting to see how it'll work in like a
Yeah.
normal expansion, not one where you're like super hyper powered. But I think that's going to be quite interesting. I mean, nobody enjoys void incursions at
No,
strikes, but at least they've sped them up, and everything's going to give you more stuff quicker.
I can
Which you know,
just continue to ignore
great.
void incursions. Yeah, that's
I mean,
fine.
the only thing that it might encourage me to do, I've got a couple of characters now who are heroically geared apart from like 1 or 2 slots,
Right, okay.
and it doesn't matter how many bonus rolls I roll, I never get something for those slots. I've burnt through so many bonus rolls on these characters. So actually being able to get a bind on pick, like to pick a specific slot to get a bind on pickup heroic item for those characters,
Yeah, it would be really
is going to
useful.
be super useful.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's just like every time I go, I get to the end of my delve, I use my roll, and they're like, "Would you like this thing that we've already given you 4 times?" I'm like, "No, you see the item, this item, these boots,
Yeah.
these boots are champion boots. I need new boots." And they're
It's
like,
all right. I've
"You
still
see
got.
these boots?
I
Would you like
think.
a belt?" No.
I think it's. There's at least one piece of gear I've got that's still veteran. I think it's trousers. I
Yes,
flick.
I discovered a veteran piece on one of mine yesterday, and I'm like, "Oh, blimey."
Yeah, it's like okay. I have been playing the game, Blizzard. Come on, let's not pretend that I haven't been receiving gear. It's a bit strange.
Yes, so being able to target that if you've got like the odd piece of gear that just hasn't
Yeah, that sounds
upgraded.
useful. That's
Big fan
useful.
of those. I
Yeah.
mean, yes, I will. And especially if like there's going to be more ways to collect the multiple currencies you need to get
Yeah.
the thing you want. Super. We spoke about gear earlier. I like the idea that they're like, okay, everyone's more powered. We need to make all the stuff that's been dropping drop at a higher level. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Because there's
good.
nothing worse than a whole expansion and everything when you go out and kill it is still dropping adventurer loot,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
Like, okay. Yeah,
well,
I
what
don't
do I
think
do
so.
with that? A
Yeah.
waste of space that is.
It's like, oh, a 220
and
green. Wonderful. That's just what I needed.
yeah, okay.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. I mean, it's a good thing that the vendor awards that require an achievement are going to cost less. I mean, sucks to be anybody who's already purchased them, I suppose. But hey, like, I'm not going to be upset that other people are going to benefit from that. Great. And there are some places where I haven't bought those things yet. So a lot of those things like need marl and stuff. So I'm going to be
Yeah.
very pleased if they want less marl. So that won't be a bad thing. And good old Dundon. Dundon is making our life more abundant all in one go.
Very good.
Now, as anybody knows, I don't mind Dundun and his constant cries of like gloriously abundant as you're doing things. I do get annoyed by the people who enter a raid and then just stand by the altar and don't bother like collecting anything or creating any things to be
Yeah.
collected. Those people suck. Like, I
Yeah.
know the event is not the best in the world, but actually just take part.
Yeah.
But the fact that I can just go, yes, spend all 8, because all I ever want to do is spend all 8.
Yes.
So let's just do that. That would be
Yes.
lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Dun, you're still a lovely lower, and thank you for your abundance.
Indeed.
I have actually started to craft a few of the epic professions gears that you need. You
Oh.
use the unalloyed abundance to buy the other thing that is then you
Oh.
need 20 green things that I can't remember. Forced vitality, is that what they're called? You need 20 of those per profession item if you want to make the purple
Flippin' heck.
profession item things.
Okay.
Yes. that's why people are running this, because people want to get their gear, their purple profession gear.
Okay.
Or Salmis wants a new bag of herbs.
Yeah.
Good
Also
stuff.
fair.
So, I mean, yes, it's come sooner. Yes, it's come sooner than we would imagine, but also I feel a lot less pressured about it arriving now. I know what's
I
in
mean,
it.
there's not an awful lot here of any kind of substance. It's a 0.7 patch, so that's not to be surprising. But yeah, it's just turning up a little bit quickly.
Yes, indeed. So what did the rest of you think about what was coming? We start as ever with the very lovely Salmis.
This is Salmis reporting in for this week's topic, Amani Patch Kids. There are a bunch of things in this patch that I am looking forward to exploring, but at the top of the list is the next chapter of the campaign, advancing stories of the Amani and Zul'Jun. Also, the new lore walking, centering the tales of the trolls and the Loa. The trolls have so often simply been the foils of elves and humans. I look forward to seeing a little of their own stories. And I'm cautiously encouraged about the Darkspear Dash. My queer friends and family are worthy of recognition and celebration, but I don't think those require official backing. Wonderful people have been organizing and participating in it for years. I do welcome the efforts of developers to contribute an ornate frame to a meaningful work of art, so long as that frame doesn't become walls meant to contain it. Salmis out.
Oh, Samus, I think you just summed up my slightly uneasy feeling about the dash. Yeah, I just have a little bit, like, it's been going really well, it's been fine. Why did Blizzard need to get involved now?
I mean, I hope that what it might do is it might make people go, "What's this thing?" And it might start a discussion about there's this thing that happens and they raise money every year, and I hope it might steer people who perhaps haven't heard about it in that direction. Yeah, so that's what I hope. That's what I hope, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, I do love the fact that we're getting all of this troll stuff. I mean, we all know that 12.1 there's a big troll island off the coast of Zulaman that you can look at but you can't touch. Although if you've got any of those like weird class abilities where you can like do farsight and things like that, you can sort of get things in that direction.
Have a look. Yeah.
But yeah. And trolls is where we're heading. Trolls is what we're doing. It's trolls all the way down, basically.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they're building us up to that with this patch, with the with all of the troll stuff. Like, you might be interested in some of this troll stuff for some reason. Winky, winky. So yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more. I'm even sort of looking forward to the what did Salmis call it earlier? Lower daycare.
Yes, lower daycare. Yes, we'll see.
Yeah. Cheryl says, I feel like it should only now just be time for 12.0.5, so this feels fast. I mostly worry about how long the tail of this expansion is going to be.
Yeah, it's funny to think. I was thinking about the other day about when. So if 12.0.7 is now, when does that mean 12.1 is going to be? Does that mean that 12.1 is going to be before or after BlizzCon? And it sort of feels like 12.1 might be before BlizzCon, which then feels a bit weird. I mean, because BlizzCon's much earlier this year. BlizzCon's in September, early September. So yeah, I don't know.
When is BlizzCon?
7th or 8th of September or 14th of September, something like that.
12th to the 13th.
12th to the 13th, there we go. And it was, sort of in the first half, just about, of September.
So potentially, if we're still on a like 8-week schedule, that would mean that
it would be middle of August.
Would drop in August.
Yeah.
Which means that BlizzCon could be all about the Last Titan.
Yep. But there are things that are supposed to be happening at BlizzCon that are kind of season 1 content, which sounds a bit weird, but I don't know. So yes, it could work that it allows BlizzCon to talk about The Last Titan. Sure, great. But yeah, it does all feel like it's all happening rather quickly, and I do hope that doesn't mean that we end up with a big tail at the end. Yeah.
I'm less concerned about that than I used to be, especially looking at sort of we didn't have a huge tail on the end of the War Within because Midnight came much sooner than we, we
Yeah,
were sort of hoping it would come, but it did arrive sooner than we thought it would.
Which is kind of its own problem. Like, because the other thing is I'm not getting through this content because I'm not playing enough. And by not playing enough, I mean playing like 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours a week is suddenly not enough for this game, which is a bit annoying, really. So, yeah, I don't know. This timing's a bit too fast for me, personally. We'll see. Graphis says, as the increase in frequency, I feel less and less informed of what is coming. I feel you, Graphis. I'm aware of the new raid and the new Yom Nom Nom Folio, but everything else I have no real idea. I used to really want to keep up with everything and want to complete everything, but this pace has broken that for me, and I kind of have to not care or I'll get overwhelmed. That said, I do like that they're keeping up making content. I think the pendulum may have swung too far the other way right now. A lot of it feels like slop. Yeah, I understand how you're feeling, Graphis. It's just the Blizzard don't know how to slow a pendulum down. It can only go it can go one way or it can go the other way. What they don't know how to do is like catch it in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, what I do feel I don't fully agree, but I don't fully disagree. I do feel like it, especially the quality of life changes, show that they are at least listening. And when we're like, Blizzard, this doesn't work, they're like, okay, well, does this work better? And we're like, yeah, that's better, thanks. Which is good. Queen Smedry says, look, I was at the point where I needed a patch when 12.0.5 dropped because I don't try to do all the things. But when it hit, I was not impressed with the stuff it added. The Void Assaults are flashy, but you feel like you're at the mercy of who else is playing. And as we're aware, I hate other players as a rule from my healer trauma. I've discovered before how all things in WoW boil down to click that thing. The medium of the thing tells you how to play the thing. It also controls what sorts of stories you can tell. So I find it annoying when people say there's not a lot of variety, but with 12.0.5, I barely noticed anything had changed. As I thought about why nothing stood out to me, I realised that mechanics are how you tell your stories. Gameplay and form are in service of the story, and 12.0.5 told new stories. So I don't know why we aren't doing story and mechanics in patches, and I hope that we can slow it down and think on both.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. I preferred the game when it was kind of story first, and now it feels like we're introducing new events or new... I think I talked about this a lot in Dragonflight, when it just suddenly felt like, oh, and now we're going to do a new thing over here, but it hasn't got any story with it. You could ignore it if you want it to. If you want to, there's just like a new thing has opened up and it's got some questing or it's got some kind of event in it. And I just felt like there were lots of different events going on that I didn't need to care about because none of them told me any of the new story. So I think it feels weird that we're now just being given stuff to do. And then like 3 weeks later, we might get a new campaign chapter, maybe, but it'll probably only be fairly short.
I don't feel like I have enough experience of other MMORPGs to know whether this is just a thing that happens. I don't know how realistic it is to have new story with every one of these mini patches. And actually that's not the design philosophy. The design
No, it's
philosophy
like it's obviously not the design philosophy.
And I think especially because they've got to be, obviously they know, this is a game that we pay a monthly subscription to, so they need that. What they're thinking about is producing new content for you to play because
Yeah.
you're paying a subscription. And I think that
Yeah.
probably is impacting on how this stuff comes out, because they're like, okay, well, people say, but I'm paying for this, and they're like, yes, and we've given you new things for your subscription, and you're like, well, I mean, yes, you have.
I mean, technically,
absolutely.
yes, you have, but it's not necessarily
Yeah.
engaging, which is why, I mean, I just, I think the subscription is now a sort of chain around Blizzard's neck, which
Do you think so? I
it
think
should
you're right.
probably free itself, like, but there's no, like, economically, it's never going to free itself from this chain. Because for ESO and for other places, like a patch will turn up, you can play it, and then you can stop playing because you don't pay a subscription for it, so you can just stop it when you don't want to, and then you can come back to it when something new happens that you're interested in. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Maybe that's the thought. Maybe the thought is, okay, if there are people who only are interested in the story bit, they'll suspend their sub until the next story thing drops, and then they'll come back for that. Whereas if somebody
the problem
is happy with
The problem with doing that in WoW, though, compared to doing it in ESO, like ESO, the level cap has been, or at least I assume it still is. I've actually not played ESO for a couple of years now, but like the level cap doesn't change. So the level cap has been 50 for like a really long time. And whilst you get new armor sets and things, there's no eye level to worry about. So you don't have the thing when you can just leave the game for months, years, come back, and you can still do the high level like end player end game stuff, and you've still got gear that works to a degree. It might not be the current meta, it might not be the current like flavor of the day, because it won't have like a set bonus on it basically that makes it that is the current thing that the game is playing with, but you can walk into top level stuff. Whereas if you walk away from WoW, when you come back, you've got to catch up. You will be behind, and if you want to go back to playing the stuff that you were playing at the level that you were playing, you will have a whole grind to do in order to catch up in eye level or in like straight up character levels. So yeah, I just yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to this problem is. Magic Kira says, I keep seeing demand to lump it in with Game Pass, which means I'd then play less since I'd have all those games to play too. It would be interesting to see what happened to it if they lumped it in with Game Pass, but I don't think they can really, because I
do not want to have to pay because Game Pass is like lots more expensive than my current WoW stuff, isn't it?
No, but they've just dropped the price. They've slashed the prices on Game Pass.
Okay.
Yeah. They've taken it back to almost where it was.
Yeah, because didn't you have a huge increase? Because I'm sure I remember you being upset about
yes,
that.
exactly. So basically, what's happening at Xbox at the moment, and I mean Xbox in terms of like Microsoft gaming, I don't just mean in terms of consoles, is absolutely fascinating. So obviously Phil Spencer left, and the new lady, whose name is Asher, has arrived. And what we were doing in the end of the Phil Spencer era is like you could play anything on any platform. We've ditched all the Xbox exclusives, so you can play all these things on PlayStation that you never used, that used to be Xbox exclusives. And some of that was reciprocated, and it was like we're just focusing on like Xbox as a gaming platform. All of that has gone. All of the like
is that when all that
everything is an Xbox. So all of that at the beginning of Halo's stream, when we had to watch all those like ridiculous adverts for the poor outside Xbox team. Yes, this is an Xbox. Yeah, that's gone. That is dead. That is dead.
Okay,
that is dead. What Asher has done, we've dropped the price of Game Pass now from $22.99 a month back down to about $14.99 a month. If you pay for, there is now also a baby Game Pass, which is like a $5 a month or £4 a month or something, which you can get actually free with Discord. If you pay for Discord Nitro, I now have a baby Game Pass thing again, because I play for Nitro to do things that I need to do for running the GGW server. She's also today, in fact, at the Xbox games, because it's Summer Game Fest this weekend, the Xbox Games thing, there was an hour's worth of stream today, and the first thing she did was announce that something was coming in and it was going to be an Xbox exclusive. So we've gone back to Xbox exclusives. Fuck you, get the PlayStation. Which I just think is absolutely fascinating. She's also, because there was some suggestion that there wouldn't be a new Xbox console, and that maybe the one that's in develop at the moment would be the last one, and that seems to not be the case. No, they're still in the console game. So fascinating, just like about turn at Xbox gaming at the moment, which I think is really, really, really interesting. So yeah, there is, I think the like normal Game Pass tier is back to being about 15 quid a month, something like that. There is an ultimate tier. There is but it's not that much more expensive than the standard WoW sub if you pay for it every month and you don't have a lock-in. Because obviously if you pay for it a 3 monthly, 6 monthly, annually, you get like discounts. But if you have it undiscounted, it's not that different now. Which is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Anyway, sorry, that was a bit of an aside. Let's continue talking about the patch. Gilbo says, for me, Midnight is my first expansion, having just started to play in Feb, just 1 month before it dropped. So I'm not sure how expansions tend to go in terms of content and patches, how often is too often or too little, etc. But what's been true for me is that after 12.0.5 dropped, it became overwhelming to have so many things going on, and I had to take a step back from WoW. So the idea that a new patch is just around the corner does not bring much joy right now, though I am excited for the Zul'Jan part. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge it's a little bit fast for me, and I play a lot of WoW. I am a huge fan of your idea of just being able to like opt out of things on some sort of screen or some sort of UI element where you can just don't show me this. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. I really do hope Blizzard here, because there's been a lot of people talking about this.
Yeah.
I do hope that Blizzard sort of consider some way to do this, so you can just be like, maybe that like in a capital city there's, do you remember, now if you go into the capital cities and you're like, where should I go next, there's like a notice board, and you go to the
there's like a hero board.
Like, you can go to one of these 3 places.
Yes.
And you're like, oh great, and it gives you the leading quest for whatever that is. So maybe each expansion has its own flavour of hero board or something, and you'll be like, hello, are you friends with everybody? Have you held all the parties you want to? Are you fed up with seeing Dun? Here are some other options for you. And you'll be like, great. And then you can and you can just
send everything. And we will help you send Dun a little letter that says, please could you just not appear on my screen for a little bit.
Dear Dun, I still love you.
Yeah.
But we need to just spend a little time apart. Lots of love, us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'd also like to send that prey guy a little... I'd like to send that little prey guy a little letter that says, hello, you're just a little bit too creepy and I don't want to do your stuff. Please, thank you very much. But I think I might get murdered if I did that.
Yeah, you
Astalor, that's his name. Yeah.
Yep.
Astalor.
Ams rounds off our comments from you guys. Thank you for writing in for us this week. And Ams says, I'm not sure they've said much about the quality of life changes. You're all right, Ams. I had you covered. But I'm very happy about the stackable Dun shards. That'll go along. Any quality of life goes a long way.
True.
The heroic world tier will be interesting to check out, but largely there isn't anything major I'm excited about or looking forward to beyond the Zul'Jan story beat, the Pride event, and the spawn of Verinoth. That mount looks amazing. It really does. I'll probably be in the headspace of doing 12.0.5 stuff. I still haven't found time to check out WoW the Diver yet.
No, me either.
How that content is, it just sits in the corner and you can do it when you I had a lot of fun. I spent like 2 or 3 days just doing that, and I had a lot of fun. Truthfully, what I need from WoW is a bit of breathing space so I can go and finish Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred and then the Lord of Hatred.
Yeah, I need to go and play some more Diablo 4. I need to buy these expansions on my Xbox, and because I've only got one of them on PC, and then I need to go and play some more Diablo 4. I've been listening to the Blizzard Watch people chatting about Diablo 4 recently, and I just need to go and play some more Diablo 4. I need to get that druid back out. I need to go and apparently the wolves have been buffed. So I can turn into a bear accompanied by 2 wolves, and we can just like rip everything to pieces in a very visceral kind of a way. And that's really what I need to do. So yeah, I also haven't done any WoW the Diver. That hasn't, partly because it sits in that little corner and you can ignore it super easily. So I just so I have ignored it. But never mind. Okay, so I think the universal, the universal theme I was getting from the feedback from our community is, whoa, slow down there, Blizzard. Hold your horses, just pump those brakes a little bit. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, do remember you don't have to do everything. And, we've talked extensively about wanting to turn things off so you can't see them. And I do understand the terrifying nature of opening up the map. It's just that you open up the world map and there's just exclamation points fucking everywhere. Yeah. And then we asked for ages for them to differentiate between all of the different points of types of exclamation points. And they've done it, but they made some of them so intrusive. Like those pink question marks, just tone it down, Blizz. I didn't mean to turn it into one of those emergency boards where there's so many emergencies on it you can't see which emergency is the most emergencyest.
I think a way of if you're thinking there's too much, literally make yourself write yourself a little post-it note or something of the things that you actually want to do. And just put it somewhere. So if you open it up and you're like, no, let's look at my list. Oh, actually, what I'm concentrating on at the moment is I'm doing parties, and I like to go and see Dun Dun every week. Great. When you've done that, then maybe look at everything else. But sometimes just writing it down for yourself can sometimes just focus, take your focus off the overwhelming and just go, no, these are the things I'm going to do.
There is also an add-on called Midnight Routine, which pops up. It's a little to-do list. So it pops up some boxes and you can customize them however you want, with all of the things that you might need to do on a weekly or a daily basis. And you can also, there's a custom box, so you could just write your own things if you wanted to. And you can close or hide any boxes you don't want to see. So I can have a little to-do list that sits in the top left-hand corner of my screen, and it's have you done your Haranir legend for the week? Have you done your Halderon's dungeon for the week? And a lot of them disappear themselves as you do them. The UI just looks at it and takes it out. So that also might be helpful because you can just close the prey box. If you're never going to do prey, you can just close it and it'll go away.
This is great. So it's got sections for the prey system and the
rares, and it's all your profession knowledge points and everything. And you've also got you got your vault ones, and you can also have a thing that tells you which rares in a zone you've killed for the achievement for killing everything in a zone. You can pop up and you can pop things out into different windows. They're all in little individual boxes, so you can stack them together just in the top left hand corner if you want to, or you can sort of move them around as you want. It's quite flexible. It's called Midnight Routine. You can get it on Curse.
Yeah. It's also got alt tracking, so running multiple characters, it'll give you a full weekly snapshot for alt, so you never have to log in just to remember what you've already done.
Oh, amazing! I don't do that.
I'll be installing.
Yeah, so I've just found it really helpful to just bring into a single list, and it doesn't look so bad to me personally. It looks less terrifying when it's just here is a list of all of the things I need to do, as opposed to I've opened my map and there are now 685 fucking exclamation points on it and I don't know, and some of them are flashing and some of them have got circles and some of them are terrifying. So I found it quite helpful from that point of view. So there you go, Midnight Routine, everyone.
Yeah, I've popped a link in our Discord if anybody goes, what were they talking about? I've stuck it in the general channel, so
Okay.
if anybody wants to go and have a look at it.
And
Oh, awesome.
okay,
Thanks for
there we go.
recommending that.
There we go. Okay, well, if you are enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year, and we'd love for you to reach out and help us find new people. We'd love for you to join our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. Sorry, I forgot how words worked for a second there. You could watch our live show on Sundays at 8 p.m. London time or midday Pacific at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
Well, that brings us to our weekly radio play. So previously on the Cassunda Chronicles, Cass was investigating a plot in the Stormwind docks and is going to follow a dock worker that was healed by the healers in the cathedral.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Dock Work, Part 5. Greetings and salutations, my friends. 'Tis I, Cassunda. I followed the dock worker. Rooftops, trees, etc. And he made his way from the cathedrals to the northern end of the docks, a small, nondescript warehouse with a courtyard around it. Unfortunately, this left me with one small problem. There were no rooftops close enough to jump from. Luckily, I remembered a small device I had on my belt from my time as a gentleman of the sea. So I reached down and clipped it round my wrist, and then fired the zip line across to the roof, and sliding across. I got to the roof in time to see this young dock worker walk into the building. I had to find a way in. As I was looking, though, I realised his voice was directly below me, and was heading to the other side of the roof, or the under area of the roof. As I reached the top of the roof, the slope, I found myself looking down onto what I will genuinely describe as a balcony. It was pretty much just a fenced-off area with a flat part of the roof. Stood there, looking out over the courtyard, was a large, bulbous, red-headed, red-cheeked human. I don't know whether the red cheeks because he was out of breath, out of shape, or the very large cigar he was buffing on, looking almost all the world like a human version of Gallywix. No offence to Gallywix. He saw the young man and didn't even ask how he was. His first reaction was, "Where have you been? You know there's work to be done." The young man explained what had happened. The collapse at the dark ships, the others unfortunately had not made it. He had been rescued by clerics. Went on to just explain how it was an elf, a gnome and a Draenei. They'd brought him back to health. They told him it was for the sake of the light. There was no money involved. It said he couldn't afford it, but that was not the point. The light is given freely. This large figure actually laughed at that point. That shows how weak these non-human bastards can be. That should be charged for. That's good money going to waste there. Well, when we're in charge, and they're all just slaves under our feet, we'll make sure that sort of thing you pay for. Everything gets paid for. The young man looked at him. "Are you sure we're right? Is this really how things should be?" I mean, they were honestly being nice and friendly, and didn't want payment. That's what they want you to believe. They all think they're better than us. We're the better ones. They'll soon find that out. I'm not sure I can do this anymore. Then we don't need you in the organisation. And unfortunately, you know too much about us. Before I could move, The young man doubled over and let out a moan of pain. And this large figure pulled his hand back, revealing a bloodied blade. I was aware there were other figures nearby, on the balcony. I couldn't charge in. If I had jumped in to save that young man, I'd have had to fight my way out of the warehouse. And try to carry him as well. I'm afraid to say there is nothing I can do for him. But now, I have a face. I have a target. And he's not gonna see it coming. I'll be seeing you.
Oh dear.
Oh goodness.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, that's sad for that young man, and also not great for the chap. Never mind. Oh dear.
No, and knowing that you can't jump in to do something must have been very hard for Cass. So, thank you and take care, little gnome. We will catch up with you again next week. Raven, what have you been doing in Warcraft this week, lovely?
What have we done in Warcraft this week? I've done all of my just did all of my weekly tasks and kept everything up to date. Super annoying. I did one of the Legend of Haranir quests, and I didn't realise the point where it was going to hit me out of the scenario, and so I missed one of the books, which is really annoying. So I assume you can redo those quests. Yes. Hopefully, because I couldn't find that information on Wowhead, which was a bit frustrating. But yeah, I just didn't realise that that was gonna be the end of the scenario. So I just sort of touched something, and it was like, and you are now back in the real world. And I was like, oh no, I didn't get the third book. That was frustrating. We had a super good night's raiding on Thursday. However, we haven't had raiding for a couple of weeks. And so we were really, really good to get a group together on Thursday. We went into the March of Keldanas and we got the burb down. Woo! That burb. It took quite a lot of doing, but it was a really solid night's raiding. Like, we felt like we were making a bit of progress on every single pull, and it was super easy for us to. Not super easy. It was just like we were incrementally kind of getting going. So really good, really learnt the dance. Everyone came together and we got the burb down. So we're going to extend next week and have a go at Lura and see if we can finish off, see how many weeks it takes us to finish that off before obviously there'll be one more boss coming with the new patch. So good progress. And then on Friday night, a few of us got together and did some Mythic Plus, which was lovely. Not done that for a couple of weeks either. We started with a 4 in the... what was the 4? I don't remember. Spires of Iraq, maybe. We plus 2'd that. So then we went to Windrunner Spire, which is just very full of trash. It's just very full of trash. And then when we'd finished the Windrunner Spire, we got a 7 in the Agraflar Academy. So we just about managed to finish that in time as well. So good night's Mythic Plussing was had by all. Nice to get back and do some of that part of the game. We also did some Blades. We also did some Blades in the Dark this week. So Monday night, we did some Blades in the Dark, and we finished our baby's first heist. We're still trying to get to grips.
So smoothly.
Yeah, we're still trying to get to grips with how Blades in the Dark operates as a system. And so we were doing a little like baby heist to see kind of how all the bits fit together. And some people, I mean, there's always going to be complications in Blades in the Dark, but there were some hilarious kind of low rolls as people tripped over things and fell off things. And then EJ's character just didn't occur to her, I don't think, that there might be a ghost lock as well as a real lock on the vault.
You know what? It's just been so long since I've like either watched the playthroughs that we saw or read the things. My brain had completely forgotten about ghosts being quite an integral thing to the
Yeah,
whole thing. And
it was
so
quite
when you were like,
funny.
there was ghost knock, and I was like, oh,
I was like, and now a ghost pops out, and everybody went, what? It's like, yes, we're not playing Dungeons and Dragons, people. We're playing Blades in the Dark. Ghosts are going to be everywhere. Let's remember about the ghost thing. And everybody was like, oh shit, yeah, ghosts. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
It just threw me. I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah. It sort of threw
I've got my
everyone.
stethoscope and my tinkering toys. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. But another character had come prepared. Happily.
Thankfully, yeah. Dan is much more on the ball than I was, and was like, "Oh, I've got a thing for that flashback."
Yes, happy days. So that was quite good. But I feel like we completed the first heist. It was really good, and I've reminded you all that ghosts exist in this setting, and so that's also really helpful. So yeah, so quite a successful week all in various bits and pieces. Just really good to get the burbs down. Like that fight, the second after the first egg phase, that second the second time through the first bit of the fight with the bulls and the ads and stuff.
Double the amount of
it's just
and balls and
frustrating. Frustrating. It's like it gets away from you so quickly. You're like, this is going all right, this is going all right, this is going all right, and then suddenly this is not going. Like, what happened in the last 10 seconds? Like, why is this suddenly not going all right? Yeah, so super pleased to get that down. That was really, really good. So we'll see if we can have similar effect on Lura next week. Should be good. Looking forward to it. How about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, I've had a good week. Having said that, I wasn't. I thought that the new patch was coming too soon last week. I'm sort of on top of everything. I'm at that point where I've been sort of slightly looking around this week for things to do. So I completed the Light Up the Night expansion achievement, which is the sort of mini meta that you get currently. So you've got to do some things in all the zones, which I basically did because Simon's reminded me about the things. So I went and did a couple of things. So that was good. So I've done that. Almost everybody at the party loves me.
Okay.
Just got to make the murder row people. I reckon 1 or 2 more weeks, because it's only the murder row people, so I'll be throwing everything at them. So that's almost done. I managed to get a pickup group to do the last achievement for a tier 5 ritual site with more than 3 people with all the challenges up for the dagger spine this week. So I got a group to do that. That group was a bit chaotic, but it was fine. We got it done. I was just like, where are they going? Oh fuck, they pulled everything. Oh, this is gonna, oh dear. But it was fine. We did enough to get the achievement, and that was all I wanted, so that was fine. So I've started looking at some of my alts and just looking at their gear, which is when I discovered one of my characters has still got a veteran pair of boots, and I was like, oh really? In fact, one of them I discovered had an adventurer piece.
Oh
and
wow!
I've definitely got a champion. I've got some sort of warbound champion thing in the warband. Here we go. Let me upgrade that. I'm really sorry. I don't know what that was about. The only thing I think I've sort of got outstanding currently, in fact, the only thing I need to that's on my list of things to finish off, as it were, is if I want to get everything off the prey vendor, I need to do some more prey each week. And I don't think I did any prey last week because I finished the achievements, and then I think I was just like, Astalor, we need to take a little break.
Yeah.
So I need to go back and do those. So I actually had a chance this week. I went and did some more in my house.
Very nice.
I built a room. Well, now having done this, I spent a long time building a room for my hunter, and I'm very pleased with it. Having done it, I actually feel like I want to change the floor plan of my house. So I might just because what I'd done is I'd taken all of the you know, you can get very small rooms, and I
Yes.
basically stacked all the small rooms on each other, and I'd done a layout, so it meant that there was basically one room space for each of my alts, which was my plan. But I still want to do that, but I feel, having visited other people's houses, I've limited myself by having these very strict walls, whereas if I can put my own walls in, I think that will be better. So I think that's
Okay.
what I'm going to do with it. Because this week's housing quest was the best housing quest, which is when it's like 5 of you have to get together and have a house party. And I love that quest because it means that loads of people put their houses up in the LFG group, and I get to just see other people's beautiful houses.
Very good.
So I went to one this week where somebody had gone really heavily on like a dark gothic theme. So
Oh,
outside,
nice.
they built around their house, and obviously their house was in the Alliance spooky bit.
Of course.
And they put up a house, but then they dyed a whole load of things like gazebos and wagons and stuff. They dyed them all black and stuck them on various bits of the outside of the house to give it this sort of gothic architecture. And then when you went in, they'd use I can't remember the name of the device. There's a device you can get that can change the lighting scheme in your house. So they've gone for like the really like dark sort of purpley theme. They use a whole load of the like Gilnean fences to try and segregate off rooms and stuff. Loads of cobwebs and all that sort of stuff. And then tucked round a corner, like behind a door, they'd use. So when you get your professions to level 100, yeah, it's 100 skill points, you get a housing decor item, which is like the shop sign for your type of profession. So it's a little gold sign with like, and it's great. And so all you have to do is like fill the bar for your profession, and they send that to you. Lovely. And if you want to buy more of them, you can buy them for like, I think something like 5 gold off the relevant trainer. It's like a minimal amount to buy more copies of them. So they made a doorway, and either side of the doorway they'd put 2 posts with all of these on them. So it's like professions this way. And then you went inside, and they just made this series of rooms that flowed into each other. So the first one was like a tailoring room. So it was like you'd gone into a tailor's. So there were bundles of different coloured cloth, and there were lots of sort of fabrics draped. And then you went through, and the next room was like herbalism and alchemy. So there was like an alchemist's table set out. There was also a scribe's table, because obviously that's also to do with the herbs and stuff. And then from there you went through sort of a steel door, and you went into a forge, and there were like all the forge stuff like set up.
That sounds lovely.
And there was like a leatherworking section. Then right at the back there was like an amazing engineering section with all those sorts of like swirly bits and stuff. It was so well done. And I love the fact that this is the quest that comes up, and it seems to come up quite often, because everybody's houses are so delightful. Sorry, I'm touching my mic. Sorry, I'll go back to my fidget toy. Yeah, everybody's houses were so delightful. And I went to somebody else's house on the North American account, and they had the most beautiful can't really describe what the main theme of their house was, but they'd used I was telling Raven about this yesterday. So they'd bought some of those beautiful cherry trees with half steel. And so you went into the front of their room, and they'd done one of those big open rooms where somebody's put like a tree in the center of the room, and then there's like rooms going off it. And in each of the sort of corner spots between the doorways to each of the rooms, they'd shrunk down some of the cherry trees. So, and all the way through the whole build, they'd used plants and flowers everywhere. So everything had quite an organic, quite a soft feel to it. It was so beautiful. So yeah, I've actually felt like I've had time to think about housing, which I hadn't for ages. So yeah, that's been really nice. I really enjoyed being able to do that.
Okay.
So what have the rest of you been up to? Salmis, what have you been doing, lovely?
Hello, Raven and DJ. This is Salmis, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family ran 2 high-tier delves, and now all of us have access to tier 11. Rexual Healing took a stab at Voracious on the heroic Void Spire. It's gonna take a bit of work to bring that kaiju down. Winterborn and Tofuma helped me bring my Demon Hunter tank up from level 80 to 82 in Legion Timewalking dungeons. Thank you all. Salmus out.
Oh, productive week.
Nice. Salvation has completed the Light Up the Night expansion meta achievement, which rewards the brilliant Petal Wing mount. It's gorgeous, it's so pretty. But he worries that with the super angled seating position, he's going to end up with a crick in his neck.
Yeah,
I think
it's
you've seen a
odd.
picture for Raven's.
It is odd.
Like literally, his poor character is sort of like slightly reclining back, but then literally their head is pointing up, and I'm like, that can't be a comfortable way of flying. That looks really uncomfortable.
It's very odd.
He's also got his 5th character to 90
Wow.
and finished up the Sojourner of Zulaman. He's been slacking with Lawmaster, but we'll get that at some point.
Marie has done her usual WoW tasks, some Subnautica, and tons of household chores and dealing with some ants in the kitchen. Oh no. She's getting ready for school and the start of chemo for her son. Oh, bless.
Am's completed the Voidstorm part of the Glory achievement with his guild and a group tier 5 with 8 challenges ritual site.
Cheryl jumped into Strange Horticulture and played through to get 3 different endings. It's cute, but they need to set it aside for a bit so as to not race through all the choices. They've also started getting back into the joy of WoW and are wanting to play more than they had recently. They missed group content this week as a friend was in hospital, but she's out and on the mend now. They've also started Assassin's Creed 3, which is interesting, and they hate the naval battles. Fair enough. Strange Horticulture is supposed to be good, though. Everybody likes it.
Horticulture is so good, absolutely. And the I've bought it, but I haven't yet started the sequel because I watched Johnny play it, and then I was like, right, now I have to wait a bit until I've forgotten what happened, and then I have to go and play it. And there's a cat that you get to pet, which is obviously always the best thing about
Strange Antiquities.
About it.
Yes. Announced at the Xbox Showcase thing today is a thing that looks like Entitled Goose Game, except that you're a magpie.
I mean,
it's basically
what's not to love?
Get to wander around being an asshole magpie. Entitled
yeah,
magpie. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be great.
Great. Well, that's our show for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/GDW-Discord. We'd also love it if you'd drop us a follow over on Blue Sky at GDW Show or subscribe to our YouTube at GDW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, drop us a like, follow, or a little review on your platform of choice to help other people find us too.
We are not here next week. We're going to Southwark to listen to the Call of Cthulhu. Some people are playing Call of Cthulhu. We're going to go and watch some Call of Cthulhu on a stage. So we won't be here. We'll be being eaten by Cthulhu. Literally in my diary just says Cthulhu, and I was like, why have I got an appointment with Cthulhu? That sounds... I should probably put... I mean, I remember what it is now, but I did see it like a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh, that seems like a strange thing. I've got an appointment with Cthulhu on a Sunday evening. That seems very odd. However, in 2 weeks' time, we will be back. How is Midnight shaping up for tanking, healing, and DPS? How is your role going? What are you playing? Have you tried something new? Or have you given up something that you were playing because it's gone horrible? How's it going? Tell us how tanking is. Tell us how healing is. We'll have a little therapy session. It'll be fine.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us each and every week, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.